Thank you, my brother. I think after my education, for me, my ambition was to be a judicial official. But as destiny has it, I was selected to be the legal advisor of NRC in Abuja municipality. And from there, we grow from political one office to another. And so I start politically my life, and all has been in the party system. I've been one position or the other in the state, local government executive to state executive to national executive, until I'm also mature to also build our own political party, which with ideology of putting Nigeria first, which is Republican Party of Nigeria, and we transmute to APDA, Advanced People Democratic Alliance, which I was chairman. And so therefore party management and party politics will be involved in this for over 30 years. And what drives us to it is to say, look, we must let this country become a leader that it calls itself. Because today, everybody, the world believe that if Nigerians sneeze, Africa will shake. And therefore, if we are the leader, the operators, which is us, who are the operators? You start from the political parties. Although we had the military era, even in the military era, you still have political parties. You have the NRC, you have the SDP. So political party is the vehicle which to drive ideology. And if you are being able to get the ideological right, then your economy will strive and the citizen will have good life. So this is what took us to say, let's concentrate in building a party of ideology.
Very well. Party of ideology, as you rightly mentioned, you have been in the political system in the country for close to 3 decades plus. Now, let me ask, which decade will it be, the 90s, the 2000s, or the 1980s that you think politically Nigeria is kind of a mature to really play the role of a nation that is leading in Africa?
If you look even at 1960s, from the history, you see how we liberate Angola in the 60s. You see how in the 90s we liberate Liberia, Sierra Leone, and this 2000.
Yes.
You see how we store coup in Africa. You see what happened in Sao Tome and Principe.
Yes.
We have to return the president as a leader of Africa. So Nigeria have been playing a greater role in African continent to make sure we've sacrificed in various countries to bring democratic to their table. So it is not all bad. Nigeria is still in forefront of making sure that we lead Africa into democratic process.
Now, Nigeria, of course, more than 200 million people, all looking for good governance. What kind of ideology do you think the Nigerian people need, especially in today's modern politics?
We have to build an ideology around patriotism, love of the country, and believing in our country. Because if you believe in your own home, you will not destroy it. Because if you believe that you have no any other country but Nigeria, you will not go and buy a house in London, you could not go and buy a house in Dubai, you won't go and invest, you will invest in your country. And you make sure that as a country, you contribute both politically and economically. Therefore, it's time that we build an ideology around the country to see that the love of the country come first Nigerians should come first before anything, before your tribe, before your religion, even before your region. How will Nigerians thrive? We have all it takes for the country to become greater. And we must join hands. And we have that ideology to say Nigeria first.
Nigeria first. Looking at it as you transverse the politics of this country, you have definitely worked with almost every political leader because you have been there. You have worked with the PDP, the APCs, and other political parties, all for the direction of making the country great. What motivates you to do that?
What motivates us is to see that we create a country that works for all. Actually, that's my aim in life. I don't want to have too much money to have, no. How do we create Nigerian that work for all? And you can create a Nigerian that work for all without looking at our economy and political system. And that is why we have been saying, let our economic development reflect our belief and idea and our religion. If we reflect our culture and our belief in building our economic, we won't be where we are, and we will have been gone beyond where we are today. So ideologically, we must look at it that how do we put this economy of us in a better perspective, in a way, a manner in which it will reflect our culture, it will reflect our belief, and it will reflect the type of people we are. And then our political system also. We must rejiggle our political system to look at Africa. How do we in Africa had empires? How are these empires being led? We must come back to now not take totally from the Western world. And that is why we're having problem politically. You have winners take all, which is not African culture. Because, let me give you an example. If today in like Suleja Emirate, like Abaji Emirate, like Kano Emirate, you find that if 2 or 3 of you contested for the post of emirship of Kano, and one get it, the next thing you start thinking is, okay, can this one become waziri? Can this one become, because you don't leave those people out. You bring them in to also contribute. That is our cultural belief. Therefore, we must now marry this belief with our national politics. We must look at it that winner takes all that is now destroying our political system must now come. And that is why we are commending Muhammad Alabuni, who is now opening hand to even call other political parties to say, please come, let us build a strong ideological political party. We must commend him for doing that. And I believe that we must now open discussion with the man like that.
As a person dedicated to building other people up, how will you classify either as a farmer, as an entrepreneur, and motivating and inspiring the younger generation?
For us, you cannot just depend on political parties, and you must also look at how do you contribute. And we must create enabling environment for our young ones. Enabling environment in the sense that it is time that we now start our development not from the horizon, top, but from the bottom. And from the bottom is to say from local government. We must start putting in the local government areas industries, good health care system, telecommunication, road network. Because if you have feeder roads, farmers can take their crop from their farm to the nearby industry. If you create industry, farmer does not need to go 10 kilometers before he sells his product. If you have that, then you find out that people will now be encouraged to now go into agriculture. Because that is the pain, that's the major area that we can absorb and help our youth. We cannot tell our youth that go and work. Which enabling environment have you provide for them? Where is the electricity? So industrialization is the next thing that will help our youth, and it will help to reorient our youth minds from all devices that we are seeing now. So my advice is that as government, create an enabling environment. Let's take our economy back to local government. Let's create good health centers for them.
Yeah,
because it is those with good health that work in factories. Then we put up factories, and then specialization. If you are going to set up factory today in Maiduguri, you look at what is available as raw materials. Then you see gum Arabic. Then you see that you can grow wheat within Shani, within the area. And then we can also say, okay, let's put cattle ranch around there. So these people will go into, before you know, the state will be industrialized. If you are talking of going into the southwest, we need to clear those forests we call Ore forest, which is not of economic importance to Nigeria, and put economic trees like the cocoa, like the coffee. Like this will boost, and then not only you plant, not only putting the plantation, but bringing industrial machines that can now process. That is where you have the value chain, and that is where you can take the youth out of street. Because from plantation to storage, from storage to processing, from processing to market, to transport, to market, or to export. See the chain. It takes a lot of young ones out of street. Then each local government will have good health centers where from the factory, if there's injury, if there's this. When we were growing, we used to have maternity everywhere. We have to have our rural health centers. Where are they today? So we must make sure now that all our local governments, 774 local governments, have health center and have industrial center. Create industrial area and allow people now to start using that area as a catalyst for economic development. First of all, you must look at what type of business do you want to do, and then what is available within the area you're establishing that business. If it is industry, if you want today to do tomato processing, you know that if you go and put tomato processing in where will you get? Take this tomato process and put in Talata Mafara, where you have, in fact, tomato will get rotten every day. Or you want to do onion processing, you know that you must have an area. If I want to say, okay, I want to process wheat, I know that yes, I can go to Shani, I can go to some other areas like in Kanola. So in citing your industry, you must of us look at the raw material within that area, and that will help our economy to grow. Not to go and cite tomato processing in Lagos. Then you have to transport tomato from the Lata Mavara to, or you go and put processing of gum Arabic in Calabar. Then you have to now take gum Arabic from Maiduguri to Calabar. It is not. So we must now zone our economy, our state and our local government as economic zone. Let each local government come up with a crop, and let the federal government develop a processing plant and health center for them. That is all the federal government need to do for them. They will take their raw material to those industries, and before you know it, rural area will open. We are lucky that we can discard the issue of national grid. Or you have various ways now of generating electricity. So we must also now start encouraging our rural dwellers to look at how they will also generate electricity. And as soon as you generate electricity, industrialization set in. Women are the mother of country. They know where it pinches. But they must, as a woman too, you must look at your culture and the belief of where you are coming out from. Even in the Western Europes, they look at their background, the culture, and their belief. So therefore, women must be taken along in political nation building, but we must also look at their strength and their weakness. Politics, party politics, is what build and train and orientate the future leaders and the present leaders. Therefore, I will encourage the youth to start looking at a way of ideological political parties in a way that our youth should now not look at sentiment, but look at why and how are we going to build this country. If you are sentimental as a young man, then you go astray. You start becoming a tribalist, you start becoming frustrated, you start becoming, no. But we must now build our political parties to accommodate different ideology and then build an ideology out of them. And then put the youth in the front burner of our political party system, which I see Maima Alabuni is doing now in APC. And I believe that, because if you are looking at it that it is just APC or it is PDP, these are people where is engine room in which you now hatch the egg that now become your leader. So you don't just look at it as a, no, we must look at it from every angle and guide it jealously. As chairman of Presidential Candidate Forum, Presidential Candidate Forum has come out to show Nigerians that the young ones can also contribute positively in the political development of the country. Therefore, the country must also look inward and look at the potentials that those people had. For one to say Alista is contesting for presidency, you should know that he has seen something that is born in his heart. And therefore, Alista should be called to say, look, what do we do to build the country together with you? That is inclusiveness that we are canvassing for. Because if you don't go on with inclusiveness and you believe that winner takes all and you just take it, it will not help the country. And that is where we are. But if you bring up inclusive governance, where you bring different ideology together to build a country, you find that country becoming strong. Even the best democratic the parties in the world, which is US, you find that Bush took some people, even from the Democrat, and even Trump took people from Democrat. You find that Democrat like Obama also taking people from the Republicans. So these are what we should learn and make sure that we put political party now that we are looking at how to now navigate our political party. Ideological political party should start now. And I've seen Malabun doing that.
Without picking a political party, do you see the people then having the capacity to do it well, come to an
Yes, I'm so glad that technology is fast changing our political system. In those days, before you get an information, probably 7 days, 10 days, 1 year, within a tickle of an eye, you get information now. And people are getting enlightened every day. and people are now getting interested in development and political development of the country. So it gives me confidence that 2023 will get a stronger, better, and ideological president and presidential candidate across the parties.